Hey everybody, it's great to see you joined our Saving Mumbai podcast. This is the show where passionate Mumbaikars get together to talk about everything Mumbai, and we talk about it threadbare. No issue is too small, no issue is too local. We have no problems in zooming in to get ground zero perspectives. I'm Anuradha SenGupta and I'm putting Mumbai's tree cover or Mumbai's green cover on the agenda today. Actually, maybe I should rephrase it as Mumbai's shrinking green cover. And to do that, I'm chatting with Zoru Bhathena. He is a tree lover, an activist, and at the front and center of a whole bunch of citizens' movements and action to protect our trees, open spaces and green spaces in Mumbai. He's also a little bit of an unofficial auditor of everything that's going on in Mumbai. Joining him is Stalin D. He is an environmentalist and a conservationist, also director at Vanashakti, a not-for-profit that has waged many legal battles and continues to wage legal battles to protect Mumbai and Maharashtra's environment. Stalin, Zoru, what are we going to start with? Because, as someone who's passionate about all things green and cannot understand how the beauty and benefit of trees are missed by most people, to me, you guys are nothing short of capeless crusaders. You don't have the capes, but you are capeless crusaders, almost supermen in this city, because it really takes superhero skills to stay committed to what you have. Where are we going to begin this conversation? Where would you want to start, Zoru? 120 acres.
You have to.
120 acres that is coming to us from the RWITC.
Well, that's...
Why aren't you excited? No, Zoru, why aren't you excited? I'm very excited because I have heard the Maharashtra Chief Minister and I've heard the BMC Commissioner on the record say that those 120 acres that we will get from Mumbai Racecourse is going to be a Hyde Park or a Central Park equivalent for Mumbai. I'm jumping with delight. But you're looking extremely tempered. What's going on? What am I missing?
Thinking what I should say. I don't think the Chief Minister or the Municipal Commissioners ever visited the racecourse on a non-horse racing day. Mm. It's already 200 acres of an open public park. Open to public for free.
Yeah. You have morning walkers, you have people in the evenings as well.
It's one of the longest areas you can walk around the track. And it's already an open space. Yes, it's controlled by the race course. Therefore, people rightly, wrongly have a impression that horse racing is some elite sport or a rich man's sport or whatever. They may be well justified in thinking that. But the land, the open space, is very much for the public. You go at any time in the evening, morning, whenever you like, you will find a class from the lowest level, the lowest level of society, means poor people to rich people, you will see walking there. And it's a huge open public space.
Do they mean that they will green it more, that more trees will come up? Because at the moment, there are just certain areas and small areas which have got that green cover and the trees, right? Yes. Near the stables and near the parking and near that restaurant, Gallops.
Yes. So, in fact, the greenest area is where there are stables.
Yeah.
And the government is saying that we will move those stables there, which are beautiful 100-year-old Bangalore tile, old cottage type stables. They're saying we're going to move those stables out from there and build multi-story stables somewhere else. So our question is, what will you do with that treed area? If you want to open it for public, you can open it for public today also. You don't need to move any stables anywhere. I'm presuming, I'm not a horse goer, so I'm presuming half those stables are lying empty anyway. Use that space. And the rest of the race course has very little tree cover because they want to see the races, so there are no trees in the line of vision. And the government has agreed with the race course that to keep the line of vision, we will not have anything above the ground. So they're not going to add any trees, they're not going to add any structures. That's what they say. So what is the government going to do with that land for the public, which the public is not able to do today? And let me give little bit of history to this story of an amusement park, theme park. 20 years ago, the Racecourse themselves had decided to make a theme park. At that time also, citizens went to court and stayed that. So today we have a racecourse and a government who both want to do the same thing on that land. But that land has remained open public space for 100 years because somebody has cared to keep it open and public.
So you're saying that my joy is ill-founded. And there is a danger that an amusement park or a theme park might actually come up here in spite of the assurances 100%.
That we've heard. I have zero trust of government. They never do what they say. There is always some ill intention behind it. There is no, I have never seen anything the government does which is with good intention.
Stalin, are you as cynical as Zoru is?
Not cynical,
and
but
perhaps realistic, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that the government is lying most of the time. That's what our experience has been. When we were fighting for the Aarey car shed to be moved out, one of the options we had suggested was at Mahalaxmi because the land, there was a lot of land available. At that point of time, the reason given was that not to take it there was because the spectator stand and the rest of it is a heritage area, so we cannot go there. And the horse racing guys will object to it. So we said go underground, nothing changes. So, but they did not hear what we said. This is 120, but if you must always have the joy of getting 828 acres of forest for Mumbai, which is what the Save Aarey movement did. That came as a bonus to us. So when we talk of green cover and improving the quality of air in Mumbai, of course we have a good story there also. Coming to the race course, it's nothing but some kind of, there is a lot of hidden agenda in that. And the thing is that they have kept it under wraps, they will unravel it one by one, and by that time, people have a very short memory in this city. It's less than a handful of people who track the progress of something. Because if you ask Zoru or you ask me, we will tell you what was planned 25 years ago and how things have changed over 25 years. But not much. The citizens of Mumbai don't have a memory beyond 4 years. So, most of them, I would say.
No, but that's true. And I think that's also why government does not then keep the promises or the words that it puts out, right? But so that's the race course and what will come out of it eventually. But if you were to look at, we're talking about the coastal road that got inaugurated, the Trans-Harbour link, the Trans-Harbour bridge that's come, and we all know about the metro work that's taken all this while. And so this huge investment in public infrastructure. How would you assess the green cover, the impact this construction has had on the green cover in the city? Because we don't have too much data, I think, beyond 2018, where, you know, between 91 and 18, we saw a huge drop in green cover. What is the assessment that you have, Stalin?
The MTHL. It was touted, pushed, and so aggressively that it would reduce the traffic in Mumbai. It's been inaugurated almost a month ago. How much traffic has reduced in Mumbai? It was never about traffic. Infrastructure projects are always meant to create land for real estate. I'll explain this to you.
So the airport at the other end?
The airport is already there. There's a lot of open spaces, low-lying wetlands, everything on the other side of the harbour. So now they are planning to have a third Mumbai or another Navi Mumbai, entire city coming up on the other side. This was never told to the people. What were people told? You are going to have a great way to reduce the traffic in Mumbai, and it's going to be godsend for the city. Nothing. Today they are saying that we can't make money out of it. We've done something wrong. So now we need to set it right. So we will make something somewhere else. The coastal road also started with the same intention. For a road that needed 21 hectares of reclamation, again, we always maintained that was not needed. It should have been made on stilts, and this 21 hectares also was absolutely not needed. Now that they went in and did they were needing 21 hectares of reclamation. Eventually, they ended up doing 110 hectares. The plan was to create 100 hectares of land for construction. But it is stuck now because they played their cards early and they reclaimed more than what was needed. And the Supreme Court seized of the matter. When it is seized of the matter, it said you cannot do anything commercial on those lands. Now, having said that, the Supreme Court seems to have put a stumbling block in their way. But the government has its own ways of getting around orders. Slowly, their planning is 50 years ahead. Like 5 generations or 2 generations of bureaucrats should profit in it. That's the game plan. See, that's the beauty of this entire system, that they look out for each other. They look out for their next coming, those who are coming, okay, I'm making my money. I'm not leaving you without anything. You will get in this. So I'll create a crisis here or an opportunity here, but you will make money. So this entire thing works that way. And people get fooled that it is an infrastructure project. It is not an infrastructure project. This is not just my or maybe Zoru's belief. The Honorable High Court itself in its order said that this is not an infrastructure project, this is a land creation project. And the same can be said for MTHL. See, once you start investing seriously into public transport and show that you invested in the existing system and it was not still able to cope, then you have a justification for going into something else. Here, without doing that, you are saying,
True. So what is the assessment of all of this infrastructure development, given that these are the reasons that you ascribe to it? What is the impact it's had on our green cover? Because it would have, right?
Destruction. Our government thinks that the more green they cut, the more development is happening. But that's not it. They are only cutting away all our open spaces, green cover with the excuse of development. They can't do it directly, so they have to do it indirectly.
But is there a green audit that has been done?
No.
Is there a tree audit? The last tree census, I think, was 2018. So we've not had a population census. I don't think we can imagine we can want a tree census.
There is no tree census in 2018 also. It's fake. It's only on paper. The actual tree census is not done.
No, they did go.
No,
I think 18 lakh
20.
was the count.
No, there's a story to that if you want to.
I've seen those guys working with those GPS etc. on the ground. So
But
they
not
might
the
not
full
have
city.
gone everywhere.
Not the full city.
They might have not gone everywhere. They did it in Aarey also. They counted up to 4,88,000 trees, and the slum dwellers stopped them from continuing. But I would say, let us, at least for face value, let us accept that they had done something in 2018.
Right.
Now, when you're talking of tree cover, you should understand the trees of Mumbai can't really be saying that they're contributing to the tree cover. Which canopy is left untouched? You have chopped off all the canopy. It's only a small, what do you call it, tuft which is on the top of it. That's not really the tree cover. And add to that, whatever you are making is concrete, so it's only heat reflecting areas. Tree cover we are losing it continuously. And Zoru will point out that every second day you will find an advertisement saying that 40, 50, 100, 200 going to be cut.
Every single day officially in Mumbai 50 trees are cut.
Officially.
Legally.
So this is with permission from the tree authority and everything.
Yes.
And then what is that? I was reading about some Japanese, Miyawaki.
That's a different thing. We'll come to that, but just let me explain one thing, that every tree which is cut, you need to plant 2 or 3 trees. They've changed the laws along the way. Sometimes it's 2 trees, sometimes it's 3 trees, sometimes it depends on the age of the tree. So if the tree is 50 years old, you have to put 50 new trees. Let's assume even if it is 2 trees or 3 trees. If in last 5 years, every year I have cut 15,000 trees officially. In 5 years, how much it is?
75,000.
Thank you. Correct? So I should be having 150,000 new trees somewhere. Where are those? I will not see 10 new trees anywhere. And that is the issue.
And so there's no accountability. If you cut down a tree even with permission
if the system was
legally,
honest, if the basic system was honest, we would not be fighting all these things. If somebody put back 1 tree in the place of 1 cut tree, that would grow back. That is also not done.
So we don't have a tree audit. We don't have a tree cover audit. We don't have a tree census. What are we looking at? What are the inevitable hazards that this will bring to people? Because it will, right? We've already seen rising temperature. We know that we are a coastal city, low-lying city, and with global warming, Mumbai is in the line of hazard, to say. So what are we looking at? What do people need to awaken themselves to? Because something's got to give, right? You cannot see what's going on and then just accept it.
When it comes to projects, it's not that suddenly one day someone gets up and gets a vision that today I'm going to start work on the project. It's not the case. You know very well that 3 years, 5 years down the line, you have to start a project. So if you're caring about the trees, you need to have the trees planted and then show people, okay, I'm cutting 10 here, I've planted 30 here. So people have to be convinced. That tree audit is not done. What you said is very pertinent. Now you talked about, second issue is about the loss of trees means that there's a lot of dust floating in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
There
And
is no
suddenly
foliage.
AQI was a term that in the context of
Yes,
Mumbai,
yes.
last year everybody woke up to it, right? Delhi has been dealing with it for several years now, decades
Yes.
actually.
If you see in Delhi, they watch the trees.
Yeah.
That's because the leaves trap the dust. The Delhi's trees are not like Mumbai trees. You ask a child in Mumbai to draw a tree, will draw a tree without the lower branches. A Delhi child will draw the tree with the branches.
Yeah.
There's a difference. But the dust filtering part or the exercise done by the trees is the main casualty. There's a lot of fugitive dust which is in the atmosphere, which is getting into people's lungs and keeping them sick throughout the year. It's like we are not no longer, if someone starts coughing or wheezing around you, you are not surprised because you are in Mumbai, so we expect it. So, and like I said, the rising temperatures, of course, we are not connecting the loss of biodiversity in this entire process.
Yeah.
Mumbai, it's very unique. We have two protected areas. One is the Sanjay Gandhi National Park, one is the Thane Creek Flamingo Sanctuary. Now, both of these areas are the places where the biodiversity is stored right now. But it's not necessary that it should be confined there. Why can't you coexist with the biodiversity which is supposed to be in your area?
But you didn't mention Mahim Nature Park, or isn't that?
Mahim Nature Park is also a very important area that we remember.
Which you're very worried about now, are you?
No, we are not worried about it because we managed to stop it in the nip the mischief in the bud.
Yeah, I saw.
The plan was to give it to Adani.
Yeah.
And
that's been excluded.
Yes. We went to court. We both went to-
The play on words was on the word excluded is amazing.
What is it? I'm missing the joke.
So there's a Dharavi slum rehabilitation project which is now gone to Adani, but the project is going on since years.
Sure, yeah.
So they have in Dharavi SRA, slum rehabilitation unit or something they call it. In that, they show the Dharavi slums and they show all other things like Mahim Nature Park, BST bus depot, some mangrove forests are there.
Yeah.
There is some pumping station. There are a lot of other things in that area as well. So they have written, these are all excluded. Mahim Nature Park is excluded portion of Dharavi project. And when we went and read so we said, okay, it's excluded.
So safe.
It's safe.
Yeah.
Excluded means excluded. So in the tender, which Adani finally succeeded in got the bid, it says, this is the map of Dharavi. These are the excluded portions. And anytime you want the excluded portion, we will give it to you. It's written in black and white. So we means what is excluded then?
And it was a notified forest, which is not handed over even today to the forest department.
What's the way out of all of this? Because, I really thought the Mumbai Racecourse thing was something to look forward to. I thought there'd be more trees eventually over a period of time that would come up and it would become greener. Now you burst my bubble there. Everything else looks like one big battle, which I know you guys fight, and I'm grateful for that. But what does one do? Because is it good news or is it big enough news that citizens are getting involved? I keep hearing poor Patwardhan Park. Every 2-3 weeks they are fighting. It seems there's a parking lot instead of the park. So what's going on? What's the way out if you want trees and foliage and greenery and the life that they sustain to be part of your life, because the quality of our lives will improve radically, isn't it, if we are surrounded by nature?
So what you said, you have hit the nail on the head. Quality of life. What value are you putting to it? Now, when these projects generally come up, they take away gardens, they take away parks, they take away playgrounds. How do you compensate a child for 3 years of lost playtime?
Yeah.
Can you put a value to it?
Yeah.
You can't.
Absolutely.
An old couple who
Yeah.
lives in the neighborhood, it was their only exercise to walk in that park. That is denied to them.
Yeah.
How do you compensate them? And for a normal citizen also, how do you compensate his loss of quality of life? So the way out is that these public spaces or open spaces have to be kept inviolate. You can't touch them. As simple as that. Don't come up with anything which is going anywhere near those places. It is not difficult. There is always a way out. Every project can be executed without damaging the environment is my firm conviction. It is just that requires a little more money to be spent, a little more honesty in its approach and execution.
And I don't see money as the problem, because government is very happy to spend 1,000 crores here and 10,000 crores there and 1 lakh crores there. So doing the right thing and spending more money is not a problem. Do you know how many lakh crores of roads they are building in Mumbai right now?
What's the figure?
There is a Warsaw is having new roads coming up of exceeding 1 lakh crores only to reach Warsaw. Warsaw Bandra, Warsaw Dahisar, Warsaw Vashi, Virar or Vasai.
But not Andheri.
But not Andheri, yes. 1 lakh crores of roads to come to just one
So
point
the
in
money
Mumbai.
is there. But there is a climate action plan. We know different think tanks are organizing, plans that the BMC looks at. It's not completely ignorant of the fact that Mumbai needs its green. What I'm trying to say is that there has to be some meeting ground between what this city needs and what the government is willing and able to do to give it, isn't it? Even if you account for corruption, and a lack of vision, even if you account for those things, or is it not possible to reconcile these?
You can always reconcile it, but you need to have the bridge. Who's the bridge? The bridge is the citizens who work on the ground, the people who have been always involved with these issues, or the environmental experts, or the traffic experts, whoever. They are absent. If you look at the climate action plan, any student of MSc can make a thesis from the internet, and that's it. It has to be tailor-made for Mumbai. If the climate action plan accepts that Mumbai is at the forefront of climate change effect, and it does make absolutely no sense to go and dump more mud into the sea and create land there. So you say something, your book says something, and you do the contrary. You should have gone on stilts again. You should not reclaim in an area which is seeing severe erosion when the sea level is increasing. You need to move back. The sea has never allowed itself to be conquered. There are morons who try to fool people that they're conquering the sea, but go back in history, you will find that even the gods did not succeed in doing it. I won't go into those details, but the fact is that this proof exists, that you should not toy around when the sea is
Levels are rising in any case, isn't it?
It is rising. It is rising. So that if the common sense says you should, or science says, step back. Let the sea come where it wants to come. Go back there. It won't. When you push the sea away from one side, it will find a weaker point somewhere else and make someone else's lives miserable. People think that what is happening in Raigad does not affect us. Definitely it affects us. It changes the currents. It pushes more water up into the Thane Creek, causes more siltation, all those kind of scientific things. Why is this happening? Because there is no science involved in the planning. Scientists are called in for firefighting. Once you see the EIAs, and when people like us start fighting it, then they will bring in scientists to firefight. Say we will do X, we will do Y. For example, the corals in the coastal road. First they said there is nothing, there are no corals. An NGO like us has to go on the ground and show there are corals. Then we are countered, it is not reef building coral. Then we show proof it is reef building corals. Then they say, okay, now we'll take it and keep it somewhere, then we'll bring it back. The thing is that this should have been done in the beginning.
Before the plan is executed.
I asked this under RTI to the Chief Minister's office, that who is a scientific advisor, who tells you the pros and cons of any project, or who is advising you on your projects. So they replied, there is no such post. So that explains the mess they are ending up in.
And this is party agnostic.
Yes. It cuts across all parties.
There is no politics in this.
There is no politics in this. Everyone.
Different shades of.
Yeah, different shades of it.
Whatever one government does wrong, the next government does better.
Yes.
Better wrong.
Better wrong.
They improve on it. How to do it in a more clinical manner.
What keeps you guys going?
Let me just explain this coastal road story. Bandra Worli Sea Link must be, I don't know, 15 years old now.
Yeah.
More.
When we go from Bandra to Worli, the road turns at Worli. We take 15 minutes to get off and all. But there's actually, if you see, there was a road going forward which was never constructed.
Yeah.
So the plan was always to continue the bridge. 20 years ago, they've given an order for a sea link bridge as well. The work order was issued also at a budget of 500 crores. That work order was stopped, cancelled, and I think it was given to that time at Reliance. Government has paid money to Reliance to cancel that work order.
Wow.
Okay. Then they changed the plan. No, we want to make it reclaimed coastal road to save money. The reason was to save money, and they spent 15,000 crores
in the process.
And reclaimed 100 hectares. So the reasons, what the government gives the reason, and the facts are two always contradictory things. Because it is always with dishonest intentions.
So,
purpose is to make money. As simple as that.
To make money. What does the citizen do? What do we do, given that we are not crusaders like you? You right up front said that the public has short memory, so we get excited, we get agitated, and then we go on with some of the difficulties of daily life, or not, or the luxuries of daily life if we are fortunate. But what do you expect from the citizens, from the Mumbaikars? How do you get them involved? So we saw when Save Aarey played out, we saw Mumbaikars, we saw youngsters really come to the fore, and it made national news, the kind of efforts citizenry put in to try and protect Aarey. What happens next? How do you deal with it? What would you like from people? What would you like from government to the end of trees, green cover, protecting what we have and generating more of this? Stalin?
So, like you mentioned, the very good example of a classic victory of people's will is the Aarey battle. Our critics may say that we lost the area for the car shed, but they need to understand we got 828 acres of forest for the city as well. Now, if citizens stand up and try to protect, they can protect. That is the message that goes through. We need to start electing environmentally literate and environmentally sensitive politicians. Right now, environment is not an issue. People don't realize it. I would especially tell this to the mothers of Mumbai, that do you want your child to have good health throughout his life, his or her life? Then make sure that the child gets a good environment to grow in. Otherwise, all your money and all your whatever efforts you put in is wasted, because the child is not healthy. He is going to be dependent on medicines for the most part of his life.
And air purifiers.
It will not help. The child, I always tell this to people, that you get a child of Mumbai to run, he can't run 50 meters. The children, their lungs are so underdeveloped. When did the city last produce an athlete on track?
That's a very good point.
That's what I'm telling you. So that's the story we need to tell people, that
cricketers have also dried up. The Mumbai supply of cricketers have also dried up.
Now,
we're not having a place to play cricket any longer in Mumbai.
There is no place. That's right. Your right to life, which you correctly mentioned, that is what should drive elections. Whether your right to life is being enhanced by an XYZ politician coming in, does he know, he or she know? If she doesn't or he doesn't, then they need to just walk aside, get aside from the race. People, I am telling you, people decide and come out with a collective statement, understanding the dangers of not having the proper environment to grow up in, then things are solved.
So citizens and the courts, these are the two
No. Courts,
guardians.
I wouldn't say. Courts are it's a thankless battle. I'll tell you, there are many times you want to go and bang your head on the wall, because there are times where important cases have been at serial number 1, and the judges say, no, this is a very simple matter, we'll take it up later.
Wow.
And for 5 years, 6 years, it's not heard again.
My God.
There are umpteen examples. So courts are never.
Court
easy.
is
It's
a
not
place
easy.
where you must go when you have no
Nothing
option
to
left.
do,
When your
yeah.
back is on the wall and
Then go to court.
there's nothing else left.
Then.
Because justice is a toss of the coin in a court.
No, but there are some things which are very brazen, which you cannot get away with, which people like Zoru point out. You know, like you keep pointing out, you did this wrong, this is what is happening.
Yeah.
You hold people accountable,
Yeah.
The politicians and the leaders accountable, slowly they will start learning their lessons. Like you said, the tree audit, that should be immediate in the city. You're talking of tree cover, find out what is the tree, how much did we lose. And the tree authority, it is a tree, and the act, it's a tree preservation act.
Yeah.
It is not a tree cutting act. The authority is sitting there to protect trees, not to destroy
not to
the
give
tree.
permission to cut them down, right? Which is what it's ended up being. Can we end on a positive note? I mean, first of all, okay, what keeps you all going? Given that this is what you're up against as your day job is this.
It's my day job is this only.
Yeah.
So I have no complaints. It's my passion. So it says now, when your job is your passion, you don't work a single day. It's always a fun.
So
I'm not really enjoying it, but it keeps me going. I don't need to seek motivation from outside. I would say that whatever I do, at least from my perspective, I would say that we do it to be absolve our soul in some way. History should not judge you as someone who was a fence sitter. And because when the children of tomorrow pick up the books or history or try to look on the internet, they should know there were people who fought for this city. We may not get the credit for it, but at least the benefit of our efforts should pass on to the next generation. And that's
basically, you're talking about philosophical stuff. You want to look at yourself in the mirror and be able to look at yourself in the eye, right?
sometimes we don't have the time even to do that. You know,
But it's a very self-motivated
Yeah.
life. Nobody
Yeah.
forces us to do anything.
Yeah, clearly.
We believe in it, so we fight it.
there are times when he is demotivated, when I am demotivated, then we keep pushing each other. Nah, let's do this, you do this. So we try and get along. I'm happy that after many years, someone in Mumbai, I think Zoru is a new entrant if you look at it that way. I think 2016? 16 is when he started getting active. Earlier I used to break my head who's doing it, but now he's doing much more than what he started out to do.
So 2024. Now let me say that I'm going to push my shoulder to this burden that you carry, because really it's a no-brainer. And I must say that it's not just the authorities. These beautiful tall trees, Saptapadi, they're these clumps of white flowers. So when they flower, when they blossom, I believe patients of asthma have a rough time. So I'm seeing a WhatsApp group discussion. Oh, be careful. What can we do? Cut these trees. That's the first resort, first solution. So I think yes, there is corruption, and yes, the authorities have let us down very badly. But I think we ourselves need to understand what we are losing out and how much more our lives will benefit if we engage. Your favorite place in the city to walk in?
Well, before that, I would say you said something very important here. What to do, what citizens should do. Two things: stop watching the mainstream media news. Second, get off WhatsApp. These two things will help them look for the right answers in the right place. My favorite place in the city, I would say the Aarey Forest and the Thane Creek Flamingo Sanctuary.
Okay.
Because those are two places which I am very deeply connected, soulfully connected with. So I find a lot of happiness in those places.
Zoru? When you're not in a train or saying that the undersea tunnel is not under the sea, when you're not out detective zone, what is a lovely green space for you?
Mumbai, we are blessed with natural beauty all around. We have forests, we have natural beauty in the oceans. In the mangroves, we have it everywhere. It's a really we go all over the world to see things
Yeah.
which we have in Mumbai, but we will not see it here.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
And
So-
from all the places that
Yeah.
I've really got shocked when I entered, I said, wow, was Aarey. I had not been to Aarey I must have gone as a kid to see
Yeah.
milk bottles being filled.
Yeah.
But I went into Aarey, I think in 2016 or 17. And when I walked in, I was like, wow, where have I come?
So that's
And
it. So
that
you would
shock,
put Aarey as a place.
yes,
to go
I've not felt in other
Okay.
cities, or maybe
Yeah.
I've this in other places.
Okay.
But and for anybody who argues about this thing, I always tell them, I said simply, come to Aarey, then talk.
Correct.
Okay.
People who argue about it are people who have never been there or not seen. It's like there may be this corner
so
of
unless you
Aarey and that corner.
experience it, you really can't.
Yeah, just driving
Yeah.
through it is not the same thing.
Sure.
I'll
Sure.
give you something positive.
Yeah.
When we lost that 60 hectares of land in Aarey, it took a lot of pain.
Sure.
And then we decided that this should not happen anywhere else. So we set off on a mission to identify such forests of Mumbai. You will be happy to know that Mumbai even today has 3,000 acres of forest,
Wow.
which has been neglected. We compiled that report. We have given it to the government and we have asked them to protect it. So there is hope.
There
we
is
should,
hope.
We should keep going.
There
ahead.
is hope.
Yes.
We should keep going. Follow these gentlemen, what they do, support them, vote with your brains and with your hearts, both of them together. And keep watching, keep listening to Saving Mumbai, because if you care about the city, then this is where you will really find kindred spirits. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tune in to our next episode.